There you are. Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I love you, and I haven't seen you in forever. Is this your
Oh,
basement? Are you in
this
a
is yeah,
basement?
this is sort of this was my son's playroom, and I've kind of thought, I'm kind of taking it over and trying to make it an office now. And I just like went to IKEA
Right,
this week and got a desk, which you have to wait like 3 months to get anything because everything's
right,
been
right.
unavailable. So yeah, so I'm just trying to like make this into a little studio thing. So
Because how
I
old is
usually
your son now?
he is 29.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus. Yes,
Oh,
he's
my
in grad school.
gosh.
He's getting his
Oh,
MBA. Now, remind me when we met.
you don't remember the first time, but I do, of course. The first time
Why
you were,
I was really drunk or no?
yes, yes, probably. I was working at Disney. And you came in because you had just done, they were releasing The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, I think is the name of it. And you came
Yes.
down to the Animal Kingdom, and we did this event with like a live African band, and you sang something, and I was one of the
It was
four.
Judy Kuhn there too? Was Judy there also
Yeah,
that?
I don't know. Everything's a blur after you for me, so I don't know.
Okay. Oh my God, I do remember that. And I remember it was like the one time I went down and I remember they like took me on like we were on a VIP tour of,
Right,
Disney World. And I thought, and my son was in school. I was like, damn, the one time I could have gone and missed all the lines and everything. But
right.
that was fun. That was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah. That was wow. Yeah, that was like mid '90s,
Yeah,
maybe.
probably. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Then 99 is when I started Cats. You're
That
right.
was my final year.
My first night on as Old Dude, you were my Grisabella. And it was just like, and so then I wasn't afraid to talk. I was afraid to tell you the story for fear that you would still think I'm some sort of like stalker freak. But then I thought, well, I'm here with her. So at least she knows I have some sort of talent or some sort of credentials to be here. So it's not like I've just walked in off the street and started talking about, remember that time, you know,
Oh
remember
my
that time we
God.
worked together at Disney and I was in the background. I'm glad you're doing this. Thank you for doing this.
No, Jamie sent me links to the whole album today, and
Finally.
I only, uh, I got home not long ago, and I only was able to listen to a couple of the songs, but oh my God, it's amazing!
Yeah, it's
It's amazing. You guys are incredible, and Jamie's arrangements, and just I'm so honored to be on. When I put like on Facebook and on Instagram that I was, a copy of the front page of the song, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, I love Octave! Oh my God, that's so amazing!" So they, they knew you guys more than I did, and I was like, "Wow,
right.
this is really cool."
Right. Well, that's why I just sort of randomly, because we're always looking to do projects with people who aren't known for doing, like we're trying to do with people that don't normally do a cappella, to show people like, look, this, there's a place for this in all styles of music. I think there is a place for this. I love where we fit in because we're kind of the, we're the, we love Disney and Broadway, that's what we tend to do best. But again, it's because I feel like we're the orchestra of a cappella music, you
Yes.
know.
Yes. Oh no, you have a distinctive sound. I mean, when I heard the chart to the Toy Story 2 song, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah,
It has the flavor of the movie,
right.
but it's different, and the fact that it's people makes it even more. The song is already incredibly emotional, but it makes it more emotional. I know that someday I'm gonna get to like sing it live with you guys. I can't wait.
Someday we're counting on that because we've got you and we've got Kirsten Maldonado from Pentatonics are both on the CD, and we both want, like, we would love to get some videos with you guys.
Oh,
So
sure. I was saying to Jamie, it would be totally up to you guys, but I do my car videos where I'm singing in my car. And of course, when I was learning the song, I was singing it in the car. And I thought, oh, I think that'd be such a cool video. So I don't know if you guys are cool with me doing a
I
car
would
video of it.
I would love
I
that.
would love it because it's just
Have him
like
send you
so
the, yeah.
amazing to sing it.
Have him
Even when I
send you
was
the
done
track.
recording it, I still kept singing it,
Right,
because the other
right.
song, I usually sing to piano tracks, but I find during the pandemic, I don't know if you feel this way, the act of singing really helps me with anxiety. Sometimes it just, you've just kind of, you're looking at the news and you're like this, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then um, either, I wasn't for quite a while driving as much as I used to, but singing in the car, I always felt very safe, or I'd be taking walks, or I'd sing like as I'm walking down a path. I live
Right.
about an hour north of New York City. And so the other song that I I sing when I'm anxious in my car is I've been singing to the karaoke track of Let It Go. For
Yes.
some reason, that just, it's just
I
something
love
with
it.
the sound and because I mean, I love Disney music too.
I love it.
Um,
It seems like more people are starting to know who we are, so that's always a good thing. And that's why when I asked Jamie, I'm like, "Do you know who Liz?" I was like, "Do you know who Liz Callaway is?" And he goes, "Of course I know who Liz Callaway
oh,
is."
thank God.
Yeah, no, no, please. Everybody in the group, when I told them that I was, because I'm like, well, because you and I hadn't, we worked together in '99, and then I didn't see you again until you came to Orlando and did the Pulse Broadway benefit for the Pulse
Oh,
tragedy. You and a
yeah.
bunch of folks from Broadway came and did this big
Oh, that was
orchestra
an
concert.
amazing night. Yes, that was the
Yeah,
last time I was in Orlando,
yeah,
I think. Oh, yeah,
yeah. It was
that
like
was.
2016, maybe. But then I reached out to you, like, I would just love to see you because I hadn't seen you in so many years, and you were so sweet then. And I just thought, I because I'd reconnected. That was before VOCTAVE, I think, maybe had just gotten started, like just in 2016. Um, and so then that's why I thought, well, let me, it's not going to hurt anything for me to reach out to somebody and say, would you
No,
like to sing with our group? And if they don't
oh my
want
God,
to,
and it's
you
such
know,
a, what I love collaborating with people. I
yes,
love,
yeah,
and um, I mean, that's the thing I love most about doing theater.
yeah,
Um, and when I'm doing concerts and solo things, and it's great, but I miss, being with a group. And so now, just trying to find collaborations to do, even if it's online. And it's,
yeah.
um, I'm hoping next year to do a Christmas song with you guys.
Oh my
That's what,
gosh.
this is, you've
Yes,
not heard the last of me.
yes.
Um, but it's like I'm going, okay, I really want to record one or two Christmas songs right now. I'm just in the mood. And I'm thinking, okay, who can I collaborate with? And who can, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. So it's great. I mean, it's all about, all you can do is ask. Again, I haven't heard all of I heard a few of the tracks today. Um, You Will Be Found and Tomorrow. And they were so I mean, sounds incredible, but so moving. And I really think that this album is going to be just a gift to people. And the
I
songs you
hope
guys
so.
chose.
Well,
And
a lot of those were chosen before before the pandemic ever happened. A lot of those, we were sitting around Christmas of last year saying, hey, let's do a volume 2 of The Corner of Broadway Main Street and just put out songs. So we just made a list of songs. And I would say 80% of the songs on this album we picked last December.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow. The
yeah.
song, When She Loved Me, I didn't know it. And I done something when I was starting to do my car songs,
Mhm.
and I think I put something on Instagram, and a girl said, "I'd love to hear you sing When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2." And I was like, and I write down when people give me song suggestions, and I listened to it. I was like, "Oh my God, that is gorgeous." I hadn't seen Toy Story 2. I loved the first one, but
Right,
I hadn't seen it.
right.
And then when I was talking to Jamie and we were talking about different ideas, and then I mentioned that, and he was like, "Oh, I love that song." I was like, "Great, let's do that." And then he was saying about Sat, and then I watched it. I was like, "Oh my God, it's
It's just like a
devastating.
mess.
It's
It's a
devastating."
mess.
And I didn't know it, but it was like it's just so beautiful, and it's just the whole. So it's again, it's just like there is a community of musicians and but also the audience, and
Mhm.
during this time music is really important, and
Right.
it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's just nice sharing stuff, and you know, doing stuff to, make people happy
Right.
and makes me happy to
Yeah.
sing
Well,
and do a
every
lot.
time I put anything out on social media about this album, I'm like, you have no idea how much your soul needs this right now. And what I love about you singing When She Loved Me is that that would have not been a song I would have picked, because of course I want to hear you belt your face off and do, everybody wants to hear you sing Anastasia and blah, 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 and I was like, I don't want her to do Journey to the Past because I'm sure she's sick of that song. I'm sure
Oh,
she's
I'm
happy
never
she's
sick of it.
singing.
I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah, no.
sick of it. Never. But no, I love beautiful, quiet songs. I mean,
Well,
hey, I love the big, but that,
yeah,
you know,
but it's the fact that it, I just have to tell you, when I saw Anastasia in the theater, the very first time I ever saw that film, when the credits came, I kept saying, I looked to see who the singing voice was because I knew it wasn't Meg Ryan. So I had to look and see who the
you had
singing
to
voice
wait a
was.
long time.
Yeah, right, right. I know it was in the little song. It was a song, Liz Callaway. And so I looked at the thing, and so I kept going, Liz Callaway, Liz Callaway, Liz Callaway, Liz Callaway. I was like, I know that name. I kept thinking that. Well, then of course I go and start finding out. Oh, of course I know her because she's blah 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 blah. But yours is the first voice in any film ever, animated anything I'd ever seen, that I was like, I need to know who that is because I need to know this person's work. Because the way you act a song, I've done classes and workshops and stuff that I teach and stuff, and about, it's not just singing a song, it's acting the song, and
Oh,
it's knowing it, the acting should take priority almost over the pretty voice, a lot, and that kind of
absolutely.
stuff.
It's the storytelling. It's
Yeah,
all about
yeah.
storytelling.
And so when Jamie told me that when he was giving you a list of songs and he said, when She Loved Me, I was like, oh my God. Because I knew you were going to do with it what you did with it. And when we got to finally hear, when he sent us the mix, like sent us the final mix just to that one song, because he sent us a piece of it, I think like half the song, because you just sent him your vocals. um, Everybody was losing their mind. Like, oh, and then the other night we had the listening party. We've all heard it and we hear it, but to hear it as the group was sitting there listening and people are crying because
Uh,
you act the song. So if you don't mind, Liz, can I talk? I want to talk because I'm going to put this out for people who may not be in the Broadway realm or the
okay.
orchestra realm, to know more about who you are and just some of your history. Let's
Whatever
get to
you,
know Liz. Liz, where are you from originally?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois, which
Oh,
is
cool.
why you can still hear a little Midwestern twang.
I didn't know that.
You didn't
I
know
didn't know
that.
that. I didn't. And then what took
And then
you?
I lived in New York for 5 years as a child within that. So I was born and raised in Chicago, moved to New
Okay.
York for 5 years, and then went back to Chicago when I was like 13. So,
Okay. Were you
which is
always
why I'm a Mets
aspiring?
fan. Which
Yes,
people always
me
want,
too.
I'm a huge, loud Mets fan. And people are like, why are you a Mets fan if you're from Chicago? It's because I lived when I first went to a baseball game, it was when
Yeah.
I was a kid in New York. So.
So were you always a theatrical? Were you always a singing and theater person?
No, no, I was a closet singer, very shy.
Wow.
I grew up in a musical household. My dad was a journalist, but he loved to sing, and my mom was a singer and a voice teacher
Oh,
and a
cool.
pianist. And then my sister, Ann Hampton Callaway, who's 3 years older than me, was, incredible. She's an incredible singer and songwriter. But so there was a lot of music in the house, but Anne was extremely extroverted, and I was I was an introvert, and I would sing when everyone left the house. When I was, I think, 8 years old, I remember thinking, if everything else fails in my life, I can fall back on a singing career.
Wow.
Which is so
Wow.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Um, but I knew I had a voice, but I just couldn't bear to sing in front of people. And I didn't start doing shows until I was in high school. It was my sophomore year, and around the time my parents got divorced, and I was in the chorus of a show, and I suddenly had friends for the first time, and I went, oh man, if I do theater and I'm in a cast, I can have this great family feeling. It just saved me during a really tough time.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, that's what I want. And so I'm going to have to get over my, incredible fear of singing in front of people so that
Right.
I can hang out with people and have
Right.
friends. That truly is the reason why. That really was the reason why I went, okay, this is what I want to do. And then once I
Wow.
decided that's what I wanted to do, that's what I really wanted to do. I used to, in high school, I worked at Great America Amusement Park. It's
Yeah.
similar to Disney.
Right.
And I worked there during summers, did 5 shows a day, singing,
Yeah.
dancing. It was incredible training, amazing people.
Right.
Um, and I used to visit New York and see shows on the weekend by myself. I don't know how my parents let me do that, but I would just fly and go to half price booth and see shows.
Wow.
And I went to college for a quarter, long story, and then I left and I moved to New York when I was 18 with my sister. So we
Wow.
both dropped out of college and decided to move together.
I know you have one IMDb credit before you have a Broadway credit. There's a movie, a TV
Oh,
movie or
Senior
something.
Trip. Yes.
Yes.
Senior
There's
Trip was a made-for-TV movie, and it had Mickey Rooney in it. It was when
oh
Sugar
wow.
Babies was on Broadway. This was a long time ago. And actually, I auditioned for that about a year after moving to New York. I worked as a singing waitress. I took
Right.
classes. And then my first show I got cast in was Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along, but
Right.
the show was postponed for like 10 months or 8 months.
Right.
We found out we got it. It's like, okay, so we called it the Merrily Waiting Period. And because I was going to be in the new Stephen Sondheim Hal Prince show, I got
Right.
seen for everything. And that's when I
Wow.
got an audition for this TV movie, and I got to sing in it, and it's a very fun it was a very fun movie. Jason Alexander was in it, so
Holy
we got
smokes.
to be friends before we right before rehearsals,
Right.
and Jimmy Weisenbach, and it was very that was a wild experience,
Well,
and yeah, and so I started doing theater, and
well, let's go back then to so after that, the Merrily We Roll Along, right? Like, first of all, if you've not seen that documentary, people out there, let them know the
yes,
documentary.
Lonnie Price, who was in one of the stars in the show. It's his. He did the documentary. It's
It
amazing.
it is so I had no idea. And for that to be your first show, first of all, your first Broadway show, and you're in a Stephen Sondheim musical. It's like,
Well,
okay, oh,
and
go
not
ahead.
only that, I told you I moved to New York when I was, for 5 years. The
Yeah.
first Broadway show I ever saw when I was, I think, maybe 10 was Company.
Oh, of course. Of
And
course.
it was Stephen Sondheim, directed by Hal Prince, booked by George Firth at the Alvin Theater.
Yeah.
Merrily We Roll Along, Sondheim, Hal Prince, George Firth, Alvin Theater. So it was like
That's
crazy. And it was it was heartbreaking in some ways, and in other ways, when you're working on a show and you're working with the best people in the business on something that is not successful,
yeah.
it's like in a way the ideal first Broadway show experience, because I went, oh, okay, this is what this is, this
Yes.
is what
Yeah.
life is going to be, and ups and downs, and there's no guarantee. So I'm very grateful for that. And what is truly astounding about Merrily is that it's like the show that keeps on giving. We are all so close. We did a reunion concert. We've done
Right.
all these different things, and we stay in touch. And there's been so many different things about Merrily We Roll Along, and it's who would have thought all those years later that and plus now Merrily is thought of as this great show, one of Sondheim's best scores, which is so nice. We recorded the cast album the morning after we closed.
Yeah,
Or we
that's on the
started in the morning and it was all day long. And so, and if we hadn't done the cast album, I don't know, you know, I don't, I'm sure it would have been done again, but people really respect it,
yeah,
respect the score in particular now. It's just
yeah.
brilliant, brilliant score.
Did you know Stephen Sondheim's work enough to know that I
Oh,
would have
I
been
knew
so,
all his work. Oh
yeah, I would have been
God, yes.
intimidated so much, like, oh my gosh, every time he walked by, I'd be like, it's Stephen Sondheim.
Oh, I'm still intimidated. I was originally hired as a swing, as an understudy, and then I went into the show and I was in the chorus. I didn't have a lot of interaction with him. I had
Yeah,
more interaction with him, later in doing certain concert things
right,
with him. But, and I have, every so often I'll write him something, and I will say that he has the best email etiquette. Like he's like he's like a fine example of like if you write him, he writes. I mean, he's very respectful and writes. How and we all get our inboxes get
right,
clogged up, whatever, and we
right.
don't answer. But I just think that's so funny that like one of the to me one of the best emailers in terms of just getting back to people, even if it's very
Right.
brief. Is Steven Sondheim.
Well, I'll have to get his email address from you so I can send him BOCTAVE stuff. Like, hey, we've done these songs of yours, and you should hear these arrangements because either you'll
I'm
like it
sure
or be
he
like,
has. Oh, I can't imagine he hasn't heard them.
I don't know. It's always good to get responses back from the composers of the songs because you just want to know, did we destroy it or did we do something nice with it? Or, because we always think, oh, we made this pretty or we did this pretty thing, and they'll be like, that's not the intent. I didn't write it.
Have you had that? Have you had people not like what you do?
Not to our face, no.
Well,
So
that's
far.
good.
So luckily we've dealt with nice enough people that they know not to say hateful, hurtful things to us because we are fragile.
You guys, what you're doing is so tasteful isn't the right word, but it's just so you're so musical and it's
Yeah, I would hope that they would see that part of it. Stephen Schwartz is another one because people know us more from our Disney songs that we do. There's just such a universal love of Disney.
Mhm.
There's just this it touches the child in everybody's heart, so people all connect with it. So we've done Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was a Stephen Schwartz, he did all the music for Hunchback. We've done our very first Christmas video we ever did was a mashup of Carol of the Bells and The Bells of Notre Dame. So it's Carol of the Bells of Notre Dame. So we combine those two songs
Oh, how
and it's
wonderful.
epic. It is epic. It's one of my favorite songs I think that
Oh,
we've
I have
ever
to
done.
listen to that. Oh, I have to
Yeah.
listen to that.
And so I would love for him to hear that just to see like, what do you think? Let's talk about Hello, Miss Tony nomination. Baby. Was that your next Baby was the next thing you did on Broadway?
Yes, that was my first big role on Broadway, and it was great. It was still, best role I think I've ever gotten to do, and I still sing "The Story Goes On,"
Yeah.
and you're lucky if you have someone said to me, if you get to have a signature song, and plenty of people sing it, but it's sort of it's nice to there's nothing I love more than being the first person to sing a song,
Yeah.
to really create something originated and
Yeah.
and again, Baby was a show that ran, I think it ran like 8 months, but
Yeah.
because of the cast album, I think the that music was so incredible, and so many people love that.
Yeah.
I was very, very lucky to do that.
When you got nominated for the Tony Award for that, did it just like what was that moment like?
Babe, it's such a long story, but I got Baby as a result of auditioning for another show, which happens a lot,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. And but no, I mean, Baby, in retrospect, I think spoiled me. I think I thought, oh, it's always going to be like this in these incredible roles and whatever. And it's like, no, that's like, it's like once in
Yeah.
a lifetime. Oh, but the Tony being nominated was amazing. And it was, and then going to the Tonys, it was Jason Gra, one of my best friends from
Yeah.
college. He was my
Right.
date. And it was like the prom I never went to. And it was
Awesome.
just this, and, we had, baby ran for 8 months, but we thought we were going to close every week. And so we got a lot of nominations, and we thought if we could get like best score, maybe we could keep running because
Yeah.
every week it was like, oh, this may be it. And it was a really good season. It was La Cage aux Folles. It was Sunday in the Park with George.
Wow.
And we did a number on the Tonys. Catherine Coxon, Beth Fowler, and I did the song I Want
Hmm.
It All. And we had the curtain was in front of us, and right before we were supposed to do the song, they gave the award for best score. And we were holding our hands. It's like, okay, if it's baby, I think we'll get to run. Maybe we can keep running. And it's like, and the Tony goes to Jerry Herman and La Cage aux Folles. And we all looked at each other like, and that's it. The show's gonna close. And curtain up and do
Oh,
the song. And then and then
no.
a little later was my category. And
Right.
and the thought was I had a chance. It wasn't, I had a chance, but we don't, So I remember they said best featured actress in a musical. The nominees are da 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 da, and the winner is this is how I remember it. And my son loves this. He loves this so much. Like as a little boy, he loved the story. And the winner is Lila Kadrova from Zorba. It was just like the L was like extended. So it was all fine. I mean, it was fine. I mean, I knew it was closing, but it was just surreal. And then we went to the party afterwards, and Jason was the best date because and then I went home. It was like really like Cinderella of the ball. And I went home. I was living in this little apartment in Chelsea, and I walked in, and I saw my answering machine light blinking, and I walked into a thing of dog shit. Can I say shit? It's a podcast.
Yes.
Dog
Yes.
poop in the apartment for a really long time.
Oh.
So I'm in my Tony gown.
I thought you were speaking I thought you were speaking
Oh, no,
metaphorically.
no, no, no. Literally, my dog had been not been walked for several hours. So I'm in my gown. I'm in my shoes. I go in and I step into the dog shit. I listen to the messages. The first one is, "I know you're gonna win. Hi, I know you're gonna win. It's Cisco right. It's I know you guys are gonna win." Blah, blah, blah. Then I can't believe you didn't win. I can't believe you didn't win. Da, 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 da. The this to the that in the dog shit in my gown. I knew the show was gonna close, and I just cried.
Oh.
I was just,
Oh.
oh, it was over. It was from the highest highs, I was exhausted. I mean, I didn't sleep the night before at all. I couldn't sleep, of course. But that was
Well,
that was
I
I
I
don't think I've
think
ever told anyone the complete evening of my Tonys.
look at that. There it
Besides
is. Oh my
Jason
gosh.
Bra telling me when we were going into the Waldorf for the after party, and there were all these cameras, and he said, "Throw yourself down the flight of stairs, so we'll get some press."
Just start swearing. Just
Yeah.
start swearing, cussing out the person who won. Once that's over, I'm just going to start saying a couple of things, and you can say if you have a memory or like, whatever. Three
Okay.
Musketeers. You were in the Three Musketeers.
Eh, no.
How about that?
Three Musketeers ran for 1 week. And I think that's all we need to say. I think now, if you don't run for years and years, it's considered not a success. But also because, I mean, some of that has
Well,
just to do with finances because
financial.
it's so
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But, back in the day, until I did Miss Saigon,
Right.
um, uh, and Miss Saigon was, yeah, I thought, oh God, what would it be like to be in a show that ran? Because literally, baby, our closing notice was up every week. So there was, if I had known we were going to run 8 months, I would have enjoyed it because I
Yeah.
was always thinking that, oh, this is going to end now.
Right.
Um, Miss Saigon, it didn't matter what the critics said. It was like it was already a hit before we opened, you know? So I
Right.
didn't
Oh,
have
in
the
London. Yeah.
experience of, okay, we're going to rehearse, we're going to put it together. Oh, fingers crossed. I hope the critics like it and we can run. So
Right.
it wasn't an example of that. It was, you know, so I did Miss Saigon for 15 months. And that
Awesome.
was until I did Cat, that was the longest time I'd ever done a show because
Right.
and I did a lot of off-Broadway stuff and most of them, you know, I think ran a month
Right.
usually, you know,
Right.
that was more normal. So
And so how was it? So in Miss Saigon, you played Ellen. You originated the role of Ellen. Oh my gosh, such a good. I love the show.
my
When did that happen?
biggest memory of Miss Saigon is I gave birth to my son during rehearsals. He was born a month before the first preview. I auditioned 4 months pregnant. I was living in Boston. I lived in Boston for 3 years and did a TV show there for kids, like Good Morning America
Yes.
for
Hello,
kids.
Miss. I won an Emmy. You won an
Yeah,
Emmy
well,
for that. Come on.
so
Come
anyway, so
on.
that was the Emmy was for co-hosting this show,
What was it
and
called?
Ready to Go, RTG, and while I was there, they asked to see me do Miss Icon, to come to New York and audition. And I was 4 months or 4.5 months pregnant. And I told my agent, I'll do it, but don't tell them I'm pregnant because they won't see me. I said, but I should go just for future reference if they need a replacement or something. And I went driving there. We were driving getting on the Mass Pike, and a helicopter came and landed on the side. It was so weird on the way to the audition. I was like, well, that's weird. And then I auditioned, and I remember saying to my husband afterwards, I said, you know, I think if I wasn't pregnant, I think I would have gotten it. And then Richard Maltby, who directed Baby, who was writing the English translation for Miss Saigon, he called me that night, and they said, no, they'll work around the pregnancy. And so I had a 2 week maternity leave. And by the way, so I got the show and then my TV show was canceled. So it was
Oh,
just sort of like
wow.
meant to be. Um, and then I had in my contract a 2 week maternity leave. My son he was born a couple weeks early. I had a C-section and complications. So I was in the hospital 8 nights and home a week. And then my first day back at work was our first day in the theater. So, and that was a month before the first preview was my first day
Holy
back. And so,
smokes.
so I don't remember that much about the show because I had him backstage and I was nursing him and I do the show. And so, I mean, so that was my climbing Mount Everest job.
Right?
But I remember there's parts of it I don't remember because I was so, you know,
Yeah.
tired. But it was awesome. It was great. Every
Yeah.
so often, someone will say, "Oh, oh, my girlfriend or my friend is getting, she's pregnant. She's doing a show and she only has 6 months before she goes back to work." And I'm like, "Oh, that's easy. That's nothing." So,
Now, was Leia Salonga, she was in that with you were in that with
yeah. No, I
Leia
got
and
got
Jonathan
to
Price, right? Right?
Jonathan Price. Yeah,
Holy,
Billy Falk, Crimson Battle. It was an amazing cast.
your
Amazing.
life is kind of amazing. You know that, right? Okay. I'm not telling you anything new. Your life is kind of amazing.
I've
I
been
just,
very, very fortunate for
well,
sure.
it's well deserved, I think. So, your voice is okay, but you're charming, and that really gets you a lot of places. So,
That well, I try.
oh, speaking of a lot of places being charming, so when was Beauty and the Beast that you recorded some voices or stuff on that too?
Yeah, I auditioned for right before I moved to Boston, I auditioned for Little Mermaid first. And people often want to know about how those movies are cast, and they were, at least then they were cast by as if you're auditioning for a Broadway show. So it was the kind
Right.
of the same thing. So and I got called back um and then I was living in Boston and I remember when Little Mermaid opened and I remember reading the reviews. I was like, wow. And I saw it and I thought, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then I auditioned for Beauty and the Beast, and again I was called back for Belle, and I got close, and I didn't get it. And I said to my agent, I said, "Would you ask them if they need anyone for the chorus? Because I love choral singing."
Yeah.
And they're like, "You want to do chorus?" I'm like, "Sure." And so I sang in the chorus, but I also had, I was one of Gaston's silly girls. So you
Oh
can
my gosh.
really listen closely in the opening number. And
Yes.
my big opening number solo was "Good Day." That's in the bell, and
Yes.
and yeah, and so I did that. And actually, we had several sessions of that. Um, the second session, I was feeling really bad, and then I discovered I was pregnant. I had morning sickness without realizing it. And then we finished the filming, but there was one last thing we had to do, and it was actually the first day, I believe it was the first day of rehearsal or second day of Miss Saigon. So I was, 8 months pregnant, and they brought us all back to sing one more thing. And there I was. So I mean, it's like my entire pregnancy was
Oh my gosh.
pre-pregnancy, and then my entire pregnancy was Beauty and the Beast. That to me that's probably my favorite Disney movie. I mean, I saw it
Oh,
a million times with my
me
son.
too.
Yeah, just perfect. And really, it was just like the beginning. I mean, it started with Little Mermaid, but this resurgence of, like
Yeah.
Broadway on film, and
Well, yeah, it's
um,
the new era of Disney
it was
animation,
amazing. And
you
I was
know.
so lucky to get to work on a lot of those. I did chorus in the original Aladdin. I did chorus on
Yeah.
Pocahontas,
Oh,
and then
fantastic.
and then I did Jasmine in two sequels, The Singing
Right.
Voice, and
Yes.
yeah.
So we're gonna hop to Cats real quick because that's where I know you from, or that's where I met you and got to work with you. I have the picture hanging in my hallway. I have opening night playbill of Cats. Yeah, Betty Buckley and Kim Page have signed it. And then I have the closing night, which I was in. So I have everybody from the full cast on that. And then the other one I have is one that you had signed because it was my opening night. That's my window card that I have from it's the opening
Oh,
night. And so you've signed that. And there's this beautiful picture of you and I in costume in the old Deuteronomy dressing room, and we're just holding on to each other. So I had you sign the picture because it was during, I think, your last week was my opening night,
oh,
so it was, yeah, it was great. So anyway, that's why you have such a special place in my heart. It's like you were my original Broadway show and you're my
oh,
original Grisabella, and and
that's
I've loved
so
your voice
nice.
forever. And it's like,
And isn't it amazing? Years later, now we are on this song together, you
yeah,
know,
well, see, that's what I was talking about,
and
how
that's gonna
it's
last forever. That will
forever.
not close.
I'm just gonna read your IMDb credits right now. Okay, so we have Aladdin and the King of Thieves. You were the Princess Jasmine singing voice, and for Return of Jafar, Jasmine singing voice. You were in The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. It says adult Kiara. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I sang a song, a duet called "Love Will Find a Way." Do you know that? In a
Yeah,
perfect world,
yeah.
when we never... Yeah, I sang that in the movie. 2 weeks ago, I opened Twitter, and I saw that, and someone said, Liz, and Liz Goes On Twitter, and they
Yes.
said, Liz Goes On, Lion King 2 is trending. It's like, why would it be trend? And it was just a random day that suddenly people who are fans of Lion King 2 Simba's Pride were talking. It was just so,
Yeah.
that was something that I did. It was such a short, that was done in one day. So it doesn't stay with me. Like Anastasia was over months and months, and
Yeah.
but uh
Were they
that
recorded in New York? Were your animated stuff, was all that done in New York, or did you go to LA for that?
it was in New York. Lion King 2 was that I remember that was remote. Swan Princess I did in LA and Salt Lake City, and
Okay.
Anastasia was New York and Los Angeles. It was
Wow.
kind of equal back and forth. So,
Yeah.
and I did that during Cats. So I was lucky. I did Cats for 5 years, but they let me out to do. Oh, I need to go to Los Angeles for 4 days to do a
Yeah.
song for Anastasia, and they were so amazing and generous. I don't remember your specific show of your first night, but I was always afraid of heights. So to go when it was time to go up to the heaviside layer, Ken Primus, who I did it with for a very long time, he
Yeah.
held on to me. He was a rock. He knew, and it was just like he was like, "Okay, I got you. Don't worry." And then I think I thought, "Oh, I have to do that for you."
Yeah. No, I think I remember that. I
I
think
think,
you might
oh
have told me.
God,
You
I
said I'm going
help
to hold.
him,
You
but
said
I'm
I'm going to
sorry.
hold on to you tight, and I'm like, okay, yeah, because you're on that lift, and it just sort of
Yeah,
has like
I
a
held on to
oh
something, but I thought,
yeah.
okay, I can do this. I can do this.
I love that, and I hate to keep gushing, but it's one of the few like extremely memorable moments in my career. Um, is that when because as the thing's rising up and you're doing your arm and the stairs are coming out of the sky, when I put you onto the stairs and you do that turnaround and you have your hand reached out, a little bit, and then you look up and you go up into the stairs and it goes. I remember that vividly, like I had videoed it from my face, and
Wow.
I remember that moment because then you're like, I'm in Cat. Like it was like I'm in this iconic show on Broadway, and this moment is one of those moments. Like this is one of those icon moments, and I'm about to sing the last song of the show, and it was just, and I just put Liz Callaway on some stairs up to the attic, heavy side layer. So the Spitfire Grill, which I feel like the Spitfire Grill was probably one of those bittersweet things because the show opened a month before 9/11, right?
Yeah, well, no, we started previews. We started previews 3 days before 9/11.
Oh, okay.
And then we stopped. We took a little pause and then we went back and previewed and then opened. And, it's had a wonderful life regionally and around the world. It's a fantastic show. I
Yeah.
really, really thought it deserved a longer life in New York, but it was just the timing was bad, but I
We
loved it.
I remember all the reviews and everything that were of the show. It was like it was one of those your soul needs this right now. This
Oh
if you're
yeah.
looking for a show that your soul needs after 9/11 with everything that's going on, this and the music and the performances of this show, this is what you need. And I hated that never got a bigger production or bigger audience or longer run.
You know, when the when theater comes back, which I fear is going to be quite a while,
Yeah.
I hope someone will do it in New York again. I'd love to do it again. I'm probably too old, but I'd love to do that part again. Or maybe I'm not. To just rethink it a little bit because it was it was just, it's a really special piece.
Yeah.
But it's done.
You were nominated for a Drama Desk Award,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and that was weird. That was very nice, but it was after the show closed. So
Yeah.
it was like it was well after the show closed. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
So,
Hey, but that
but
speaks
it was nice.
volumes about
Yeah,
this
it
about
was a
you and the
lovely
show.
it was a very lovely thing to have happen.
The Look of Love, the songs of Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
Yeah, that didn't run that ran longer than the Three Musketeers, but it was fantastic, fantastic music and fantastic arrangements.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard to do a review. Musical reviews are tough, but I
Yeah.
love the back. Have you guys done any Burt Bacharach?
No,
Have you
and
done stuff from
I
like
feel like
Promises, Promises, or you should?
no, we did a sort of an American songbook. So it's called Somewhere There's Music, that had some more classic jazz pieces in it. Um, but again, people were like, when are you doing more Disney? So that's why this album. So I'm sure we'll do another Somewhere There's Music Volume 2 that will have
Yeah.
more standards and stuff in it. And the
Even if
standards,
you do, the Promises, Promises, there's some great music in that. So if you're
right?
doing Broadway stuff, yeah. But
Yeah.
backtrack stuff is fun.
Oh
Jamie
my
would go
gosh.
crazy.
Can you
He would go
imagine? Like, I know,
crazy for Luna. He'd love that.
his arrangement, he's just this savant. It's
Yeah, he's
ridiculous how he can
incredible.
do.
Besides, like now, I'm trying to think of you. I'm going, God, I'm tired hearing all that I've done. It's like, wow, I've done more than I remembered.
No wonder I'm so
Like, wow, that's
exhausted.
pretty cool. That's pretty
And
cool.
then every brilliant thing.
Yes, that was recently. That's a wonderful one person play. I'd
Yeah.
never done that kind of thing before. It was a one person play with a lot of improv with the audience.
Oh, I love that.
And I did that in a wonderful theater in Fayetteville, Arkansas called Theater Squared.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really hoping I really want to do the play again. And in fact, I'm talking to a theater now about seeing if there's any way how one can do that in a safe way. You know, as
Yeah.
we go back to theater, there's going to be until I don't know, until we have a vaccine or until whatever. It's going to be a while before we have big shows, I think,
Right.
again. And so, and I loved Every Brilliant Thing was just one of the happiest experiences, and very, very challenging.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to find a way to do it again, you know, in the, upcoming year, which would be
Right.
amazing. I also really love singing with my sister, and
Yes, I
that's
was going to
another
ask.
great, we have, several shows we've done together, and she's living in Tucson. I miss her desperately.
Oh,
And, we're trying to figure out a way to sing together.
right.
And it's just, I'm hoping to go and visit her. I just don't know how we feel about flying. And it's just
Yeah.
maybe it's not the right time, but that getting to sing with my sister is that's really a very special thing. And
Well,
and the audience too. I mean, it's just
yeah.
there's, we do our own things, and we're so blessed, and we've had such, wonderful careers, but something happens when we sing together. And
Yeah.
it's, I really look forward to, we we've had, we had a lot of dates canceled.
Yeah.
But we have something, a show in New York's rescheduled. It's rescheduled for February. So
Okay.
fingers crossed,
Yeah.
we will be singing together. We have actually several things we'll be doing together in February. So fingers crossed we'll be
Great.
singing together again. I hope.
Great. Yeah, I know, right? Well, yeah, I was looking at like Sibling Revelry. That was your
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, that was
That
our
was
first
your.
show. We still do it. We still do Sibling Revelry regularly. And then we have a show called Boom. We have a show called Broadway, the Callaway. That's our most recent show.
Your Christmas show should be called Callaway in a Manger.
Oh, that's a great idea. We did a Christmas show. We've done Christmas shows together with symphonies, and
Yeah.
it's great fun.
I
She
love.
and recorded a song. We've recorded a lot of duets together. But I have a Christmas album. Um, it's like a 5-song Christmas EP, and we did a duet together on that, and which was very special. In fact, when I put my query up on Facebook today about what I need song suggestions for Christmas, and Anna was like, "I'll write you a song. We'll write a song together." So we'll see. We shall
There you
see.
go.
We will just do. But
Let's do a whole
I just
album.
have
I
a
don't care.
continuous collaboration with VOCTAVE.
Please do.
Love
We're gonna
it.
make you. We need to get you an honorary member T-shirt.
Okay.
Anybody that I don't know if you wear T-shirts. You're probably not a T-shirt wearer, but if you are,
Oh, of
let us
course I
know.
am. I am wearing a sweatshirt as we speak.
I need an
Sweatshirt,
honor. Yeah,
t-shirt,
yeah,
sweatpants.
honorary member. I'm telling you. Okay, you've had 6 solo albums,
Now
and
I'm doing more singles. That's something I have 3 singles out in the last couple of years, and I want to do more.
right,
I'm working on another album, but it's hard to do a full, as you guys know, but it's hard to do a full album.
yeah.
And I enjoy, I'd like to do more recordings more often until I do another album.
Well, it's like you singing the songs in your car, your car songs that you do. I live for those.
That's one of my big pandemic projects was working on my YouTube channel. I mean, VOCTAVE has you guys have an amazing YouTube channel. And
I'm
I'm
trying.
trying to I'm going through, like, I have old concerts that I had filmed 20 years ago, and I'm finding
Yeah,
TV things I did as a kid, when I was younger, and sometimes I just sing a song at home or in my car. So I'm just trying to make my YouTube channel be like a cool place for people to go, and
yeah.
it's something fun, to express myself, and um, so I keep singing.
My favorite one was Beautiful City when
Mm,
there was an
the
ambulance at the
siren.
end or the siren at the end that happened to be in the same key as the song, and it came in like on this poignant part of the song, and it was at the end, and it was in tune. And
It
it
was
was so,
crazy. It was
and the fact
crazy.
that you're singing Beautiful City and you're singing about we can build
Oh
this beautiful
yeah.
city, da, 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 and then you hear a siren, but it happens to be in tune. I was like, if I hadn't seen it live, I would have thought that was planned, like you had
Oh yeah.
overdubbed that
And you know
siren
what?
sound or whatever.
That was in February. So it
Yeah,
was kind of right before everything shut down.
yeah.
So it's even more bittersweet. I sent that to Stephen Schwartz and he loved it. And
It's,
When your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of men. A city of men. A city of men. Wow.
and I
it's
recorded that. That was one of the, I actually recorded that in New Zealand.
oh
And
wow.
so I released that as a single. And that's a song that is a really good song for now.
Yeah,
It's a
yes,
really, you
yeah,
know, it's a such a great sentiment. And I started doing concerts with Stephen Schwartz right after 9/11.
wow.
And in fact, when I got Spitfire Grill, I had a couple of concerts with Stephen on the books already, and they rearranged the day off so I could fly to Kansas and it
Uh,
was the first concert I did with Stephen.
yeah,
And he opened the concert with Beautiful City. And had never seen the movie of Godspell.
right.
I didn't know it. And I was just like, oh my God, this song is amazing. But now it's just, it's so interesting revisiting songs.
Yeah.
They all completely new meaning. I released a single of a song called The Morning After, not the Poseidon Adventure.
Everybody always thinks, I saw the comments of, I
Yeah,
thought
I was
this
like,
was
no,
the
it's
Poseidon
not the
Adventure.
Poseidon
No,
Adventure.
no.
But it was written in 1968
Okay,
by David Shire, who wrote the
right.
music to Baby. And he wrote it after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated and there were
Yeah,
these riots. And I saw the lyrics and I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect
yeah,
song. You could have written it yesterday. And so I was like, all right, I need to sing this.
yeah,
And it's nice to just give new life to a song that you never know when it's gonna be the right time for a song.
right.
And that is the beauty of the music stuff we get to do, that people will discover it by
Yes.
accident.
Yeah. So I hope this is a chance for people to get to know you a lot better. And thank you for being willing to do this. I still am waiting for uh, Callaway in a manger.
Oh, I like
I'm just
that.
waiting for
That's
that to
something
happen.
Anne is a big punter. She'll like that.
Yeah. I'm sure she's already thought of it. But I love you so much. Thank you for
Well,
doing this. Thank you for
thank
being
you
a part
for
of
having me.
VOCTAVE's new album. And it's released on October the 6th. And I cannot wait. I think this is just, everybody's soul needs this. And
I
your
agree.
song is just, it's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And we appreciate you being a part of the group and being part of our musical legacy. And I can't wait
Oh,
to see what happens next with all
yes,
of
I can't
us.
wait. The first of many collaborations, I hope.
I hope so too, Liz. And thank you again for being a guest with me today. And I love
It
you
was
so
fun.
much.
All right.
I love you so much. And
Talk
I
to you
hope to
soon.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just just out of reach, down the block on a beach, maybe tonight.